Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to the live episode of Butterfly Evolution Radio Show. I want to thank you guys. Rodney, can you hear me? You are muted.
Hey, Tammy, I can hear you.
Hey, how's it going?
Everything is good. Everything is good. Sorry about that. Because of like potential noise in the background, I always try to keep it muted. My apologies.
Oh, no worries, no worries.
That's how you know I'm a teacher in today's time. It's always mute your mic.
Because you never know what might happen or might be said, huh?
You never know.
Boy, I tell you, it has been a day. I'm telling you guys, look, I have burnt pizza. I have not had dinner. Can y'all see it?
Join the club. I have not eaten yet either.
I'm serious. I put it in the toaster oven and then I forgot it. It's not so bad, but more done than I like it to be. So now I got grease all over my hand. Anyway, thank you guys so much for etiquette and all that stuff. So y'all gonna see me take a bite every now and then. I'm just letting you know because I'm one of those girls that I get hangry when I'm hungry. So y'all don't want that. On top of that, I lost all of the preparation that I had for this show, but that's okay because it's inside. But I've just been digging deep, and something happened to the computer just about 10 minutes ago. So I had to do a force shutdown, and I thought, well, it's going to come back up. Didn't come back up, so I lost it. So anyway, we're going to move forward with this thing. So how have things been going with you, Rodney, this week before we get started?
Uh, it has been busy. A lot going on, but it's cool. Last weekend, one of my friends turned 40 today, so we got a chance to celebrate his birthday over the weekend. We went to a little local beach, about 7 guys, and just chilled out, played a few, can jam. I've never heard of this, right? Just out playing games on the beach.
Wait, Rodney, did you say 7 guys?
Uh
I'm upset. You should have called it in. I could have had some questions round table.
huh.
7 guys? What?
7.
We
Yep.
could have had a round table.
Look,
I could have asked some questions and brought the answers back to the show.
They're not into public speaking, so good luck with that.
No, it would have been private. I would have made it public.
I will say this too. When I went to open up your email, when I went to open your email just now, I saw something else. So I gotta talk to Tamari about it after the show. So we'll let you know about something else too. But just a busy week. Tomorrow, we actually will be traveling home. Yes, ma'am.
What's my need? So you just kind of slid that in, and now I got to wait the entire hour. Can you not text me?
Oh man,
Because I've been sitting on hot pants.
Oh man, but yeah, we'll be traveling home tomorrow. One of my aunts passed away last week, so we'll be going to Norfolk tomorrow for a funeral. It'll be a quick trip. We're just going down for the day and then coming back tomorrow evening. So,
okay.
But what's going on with you, Tammy?
Oh, not much. Just like I said, been one of those days. It's just started out. This week started out to be a really busy week in a good way. But still, I don't think I wasn't prepared. And I think I wasn't prepared to be as busy as I have been. So it's just things happen, just life happening. That's all. So nothing, big or urgent, like what you have going on, all that kind of stuff. But other stuff. So, and listen, Rodney, don't worry about the baby. If it's, I see you're muted again. So if it's because of that, let her go and do and be.
Oh no. Honestly, Tammy, it is a habit. And then the washing machine is also going in the background.
We can't hear it. Like we really can't. I can't hear it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's really a habit.
Okay. I didn't know if you were trying to wean out the noise from Nadia or something, because she is what she is and she does what she does. She's a baby, so she doesn't know about all this fancy stuff. We try to do whatever. So I like the baby noise. Actually, it's like life happening. So I love that. But anyway, you guys, thank you for tuning in with us tonight. Thank you for choosing us on this Tuesday night. We know that, like ours, your lives are busy as well, and it truly is just an honor to have you guys come back and share this time with us. So thank you all. Tonight's topic, I'm thinking what we'll do is just kind of wind this relationship down for a minute and come back with some things. I'd like to hear more from you. We would like to hear more from you guys about what particular topics that you would like as it relates to relationship, because I think it's really important to break them down and break them out. I was talking to a friend today, and we're actually losing the connectedness that's needed even for relationships. Like the family structure is just wearing down, meaning siblings against siblings, cousins against cousins, mothers against their sons and daughters. All of this is happening right around us. And there's just a breakdown that continues to feed the traumas that we've already been through. I was thinking today, if you're just coming on, you guys, I lost my notes on this, and that's just my fault because I've been told over and over again, save your stuff. And I just think that I don't have to save it, it'll be there. So I'm lesson learned. I'm going to start saving it for sure. But there's so many things that have affected us already in life. Like in some instances, I'm still that little girl. I'm still Tammy, the little girl. And every now and then I'm reminded of that. And I have to call myself out on that. So as life continues to happen, and with all the disconnect that is happening within family structures, within friendships and things like that, I think the farther away, or I'll say this, the more that our triggers are triggered. And that comes out in our relationships, because rarely do we meet someone that we feel safe to say, hey, I dealt with this, and they have caused some emotional trauma. I have some triggers that I have not dealt with. So I don't think that we always have those conversations that is needed, so that we are not trying to. We said here, and got it from a post somewhere on Facebook. Don't try to love the red flags out of people. And I was thinking today, we should not try to do that, but we certainly should find someone who's ready to put their flag down, to surrender that flag and say, I'm going to show up, but this is who I am. These are my flags, but I'm willing to show up and surrender. But both men and women, we talked about average, and that word keeps popping up. The average man, the average woman. I believe the average man and the average woman wants that meaningful relationship, one that they don't have to lose themselves, lose who they are, that they feel free to become, to grow, even to grow forward in arguments. Like, I think when conflict happens, it should be an opportunity to say, okay, how can we grow? Not win, but how can we grow together and win? So tonight, I want to really just hit in on some points for people who are dating, um, and wanting to date their husband. Meaning, if you're not already married, someone that you're going to do life with. If it's not a husband, because everybody doesn't want to be married, but some people still want that meaningful relationship. So people, and I think you hit on this a little bit on your show, Trent, about the serial dating. I think people are at a point where they want to, some date for a purpose. Like, what are we doing here? Not just casual dating, not just me spending your money, guys, or vice versa if some of the women are paying. But in order to get there, you have to know who you are and be okay with that. You have to know your red flags, you have to know your triggers, and you have to say, this is who I am, and this is what I need, and this is what I want. Make a list, check those lists off, collect that data as you go out. So that's what we're gonna give you. I was telling Trent today, we're gonna give you the meat. You add your potatoes or your greens or whatever you want on your dish, but we're gonna give you some things to go back to. And I'll speak for me. These are things that I have to apply every day in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Because as I said, the little girl in Tammy, that hurt girl, that little girl who lost her grandmother and thought, I've lost my world, still, I have issues with that. The little girl who had those daddy issues, some that she brought on upon herself, I still deal with those. They show up in my relationship. The difference is now I recognize I'm not on autopilot mode. I'm not on cruise control. I determine how fast I go and when I press the gas and when I stop, when I get on the brakes. That's the difference. I've become aware, self-aware. And so I know now how to approach life when I'm feeling good, when I'm feeling bad. I know when to step back. I know when to go forward, but I don't always make the right decision at the right time. I sometimes go too quickly. I sometimes stop too quickly. And that's why I say I have to apply. I am my greatest client. I am my life. I am my greatest teacher, not you guys. So I stand here not knowing it all. I stand here saying I have to apply, and you guys teach me just as much as I teach you guys. And I hope that's something we say here is a teachable moment for you.
What up, y'all? How y'all
So
doing, man? How y'all doing?
say that again.
What's up, Trent? How you doing, man?
Did you just interrupt me?
Yeah, that was my way of pushing you along.
No.
How
I
you
don't
doing
need
today,
that.
Tam?
Just make sure you be pushed on Sunday. Now, Rodney, you want to go ahead and talk about Trash Can Baby?
Yeah, y'all are funny. Absolutely. So, for those of you who are new to the show, new to Butterfly Evolution, we like to talk about moving your trash can, and basically, we do encourage you to move your trash can from a very popular location. It could be in your kitchen, it could be in your backyard, it could be in your office, but somewhere that you're used to, going to the trash can on a regular basis, and move it to a different location and see how many times you revisit its old location. Oftentimes, we just get in a habit of doing things. We get in the habit of whether it's going back to the same people, whether it's going back to the same places, whether it's going back to the same habits. Even when we're trying to get away from people or from things, we tend to go back because it's familiar, and we live a routine lifestyle. We live on autopilot, and if you see how many times you go back to the trash can or to its old location, then ask yourself, how often do you find yourself going back to people, whether it be calling them, emailing them, texting them, when you know that you should be moving on with your life, or that you know that things have changed. How about your habits? Think about how often you do the same thing. It's very symbolic of how we tend to go back to old situations, old locations. So we encourage you to move your trash can. And then we haven't had too many people share, but some people have moved their trash cans and told us and how annoying it is when they throw things in that direction, or they drop things in that direction because that's what they're used to. So just think about our lives and how difficult it is to change or to move forward. And that's what the whole trash can concept is about. Welcome to the show, Trent.
What's going on, brother? How you doing, man? Good to see you.
Everything is good, man. Good to see you. What's going on with you?
I can't call him. Might spoil it, brother. Might spoil it. Good to see
Now,
you, man.
Tammy said Sunday. So did I miss your first show? Was it the 23rd or was it the 30th?
Actually, it was Sunday. It was 23rd. It was the other day. Yeah,
My apologies. My apologies, brother.
Oh, it's all good, man. It's all good.
How was it?
It was good, real good, man. Tammy got on my nerve, but it was good. Nah, it was good. We had a good time, man. It was good, real good.
I know. I'm sure y'all did.
It was good. Yeah, you can go back and listen to it.
Tammy held my hand throughout the process. I really appreciate that, man, because I had jitters and everything, because it had been 4 years, so it was different, but it was good, real good.
I like it.
Yeah, he really was, Rodney. It was, you would have thought he was on CNN.
Hey, it's Trent, baby. I was back. So yeah, I mean, it was a big deal for me.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Rodney, we are losing you for some reason. Okay, there you go. All right, so you guys, let's get into this meat. I will start with just kind of piggybacking off of how I started out. And again, this is for those people who are really ready to move forward in a relationship, meaning a very purposeful, meaningful, connected relationship. There are a lot of people doing it, but not doing it. So, and I'm just one, like, I don't want to show up in that way with me and my time and just to do it, because I can just do it by myself. Like, I really can. And so if I'm going to show up, I want it to be that kind of relationship. Like, I say fairy tale, but knowing that it's far from fairy tale, that we both are in it together. Maybe that's the difference, because when two people show up, so if you're out there and you're at a place in your life where you are questioning your your relationship or why you don't have a relationship. I saw a post today from someone that said, "Is it true that when you stop looking, you find that special person?" And I actually tried to find the words to answer that question, because I look at it, it's yes, but not in the way of stop looking, when you no longer require it, when it's not um, a, a, a live or die situation. Like, okay, if he or she comes, cool. If they don't, but I think for ladies, and I'll speak for ladies, I think so often the world gets us caught up in thinking, if we have not found that guy, that is something wrong with us and we're running out of time. You have no idea how many that have how many times and how many ladies are being affected by that now, because they said I do far too soon, even when the red flags were there and not surrendered. So that's again where I want to go tonight. And if you guys are listening, send us some comments, some questions that you'd like for us to address, because people will hear and maybe somebody will share a different point than we have. So for you guys, anywhere you want to go before I keep talking?
Yeah, it's something that you said that struck, gave me a thought when we're talking about showing up. First,
Mm-hmm.
we have to, in any relationship, whether it be friendships, whether it be my friendship with Rodney, or Rodney's friendship with me, or any relationship, a relationship with a family member, or anything, or romantic, anything, we have to show up naked. Everything has to be placed on the table. And what I mean by naked, showing up naked, is place all honesty about yourself on the table. Who you are, where you come from, where you've been. That's
Do you think
important
you do?
things.
Do you think you do that with people who you have already taken out of the equation?
One more time, I'm
I
sorry.
mean, okay, so for instance, if you're, I guess I'll ask you this: when do you do that? First date?
Sometimes I've done it sometimes on first date, but sometimes I've held back a while. But I've done it in both cases.
Okay, okay. And the reason I asked that, because when I mentioned dating, people want, I think it's a time where we need to be dating our
And
potential husband or dating our potential wife.
right, it's sometimes it's totally on how you feel about that person and how far you want to go with that person that you
Mm-hmm.
get naked. Sometimes you can be so naked it'll run people off.
You want people off, right? Right.
But
Totally agree.
I truly believe in complete nakedness within friendships. Period.
Okay,
I
Rodney.
believe in true complete nakedness.
I think you have to be wise when you do that. Like I don't have a problem with being honest with people. I don't have a problem with. In fact, I'm going to be honest with you. I may not. Uh, I'm gonna be, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Um, with progression. I'm not gonna tell you everything about me. Um, date number one, date number two. I'm just not gonna do that because I don't believe that people should, if you start sharing too much, and if somebody really wants to be with you for whatever reason, then people will try to be that person, right? If I tell you if you really want to be with me, right? Or if I really want to be with you and you tell me, hey, I like flowers, or hey, I like to go for walks in the park, and I like my eggs scrambled with cheese, whatever the case is, as long as you are into me, sorry, you guys, allergies are bad. As long as you are into the person, you're gonna try to do those things, right? You're gonna be on Front Street with it. And
so what you're saying is the possibility of the representatives staying a little longer than they should be. I got you. That's a great point, Rodney.
Right, because until that person get whatever it is that they want, or until they get tired, they are going to put their best foot forward. They're going to give you all of those things. I like this, I like that. They're going to give it to you. And I think that's why so often people talk about how their relationships have changed and people don't do what they used to do and how they don't do what they did in the beginning. But is that something that was really a part of them? Because if that's who I am, I'm not going to change, right? But if that's not me, but right now I got a goal in mind.
Give me an example, Rodney, of something like that.
You just made me want to call up my exes and cuss them out. Did they
give me an example of something like that.
So for example, let's say I'm a man who, whenever I see a woman that is attractive to me, I want to get into bed with her, right? So I go, no good intentions at all, right? So I'm trying to get to know her, and she tells me she likes seafood, right? So what am I going to do? As often as possible, we're going to have seafood. Now, once I get what I want from her, if I'm not really into her, those seafood dates are going to, the gap in between those seafood dates is going to grow larger and larger until I disappear and she started giving me messages, where have you been? Oh, I've been busy, right? Because after I get what I came for, after I get what I wanted, you ain't getting seafood. Why do I need to give you seafood? Why do I need to send you flowers? And I think
great point, brother. That is a great
point. I think it happens. I think it, and I'm just using that as one example, but I think it happens far too often because one, people give away too much too soon, and then at the same time, people don't have good intentions. Like a lot of people are about convenience now. It's about what can I get out of this situation? What can I get from you? And then once I get it, you know what? I'm on to the next person. Because people aren't in it for the long haul.
Right. Good and stuff, I think that's where we mess up. We don't make sure that people, and people can tell us anything. Like people can tell us, and you're so right, Rodney. People show up, and for the first part of, I'll say the first quarter of the relationship, first few weeks or whatever, everything, we are agreeing with everything. I'm trying to do what you want. You're trying to do what I want. I believe that those things should come later. I'm a bit older than Rodney. I don't even know your age, but I have come to the point where, well, not now because I'm good now. But
hey Tam, shout out Woo Woo. She's going good. She's going crazy in the comments. Woo,
yeah, I've sent her some messages back.
Okay,
yes. So I was that person. Like I'm done with these games. I'm done with because I can go eat by myself. I can do all those things alone and enjoy it. So I was more of collecting that data. But for me, here's where I think I got off the tracks a bit. First sign of something, I'm out. First sign of something, and I'm out. Meaning, I mean, like, and that was not fair because it could have been just a trigger. It could have been somebody who didn't know how to speak what was going on. So I'm like Rodney. I hold back a little bit as well, but that's because I want to collect that data and make my own decision.
I have a question for you, Tam. When you say hold out, were you holding out from previous pain that you missed out on an opportunity?
Holding out on what part?
As far as holding out, meaning if the guy did something that you totally disliked because of a past situation, was it
Or
because
it could
something
have
happened in the
been.
past?
It could have been, but there was just certain things that were on my list. There were certain standards and certain things that I knew I needed for
Okay.
me, or it wasn't worth your flag. It wasn't that I wasn't the person that you needed to surrender your flag to, if that's what you wanted to do. I just knew that it wouldn't work for me.
Sounds like a player to me.
Hey, you have to play the game. You have to. I'm sorry. You got to show up on the court. You do what you got to do. So, call
I,
it what you want. It's necessary to play the game, and you better be a player or you'll get played.
I want to go back to what Trent was saying about, just in any relationship. I mean, just being honest with family members and friends and people like that. I think that sometimes I've noticed that there are a lot of secrets, right? Especially in families, right? And you find out things like I'm 38 years old and still finding out things at 38. And I'm like, y'all let me believe this for 38 years?
Exactly.
Isn't that awful? Isn't that awful?
You find out this cousin's dad is really not this person, and you find out these two women then had babies by this man, and you find out that this happened, and it's like, wait a minute. That I will say I agree with Trent. Now, again, you got to be wise and you got to be careful, right? But I feel like we do a lot of harm in families with secrets. And I can't speak for anybody else's family, but I know just for me, it's like, well, and then it's like, well, why did y'all feel like this needed to be kept quiet? And so I do appreciate when people are honest. And I try to give that same courtesy. And if I call you my friend to the best of my ability, right? I'm going to. Now, for legal reasons, and I know sometimes with people's jobs, especially if they're in the government, they can't share things with you. But as much as possible, share stuff with me. I'll share stuff with you, because if not, are we really friends? Are we associates? Do we just know each other? Do we just hang out? Like, are we cool on a certain level? Because I think it takes a lot to call somebody your friend or to consider somebody your friend. But we use the term loosely all the time, and sometimes your friends might be closer closer than your relatives for that very reason. But I think when it comes to honesty, I think it's a huge struggle for people, because for whatever reason, and there's some things that because we've all had those embarrassing moments. Some things, you might want to keep to yourself. So again, that's why I say you got to be wise, because everybody can't handle your honesty. Everybody can't handle your secrets.
You guys, what about before you make it a solid relationship, meaning before you become one, and I want to share something that Christine said here too, because it's very, very interesting. But what about before you get to that point where you say, okay, we're going to do this thing together, whether it's, being married, moving in. And that's one of the things I wanted to share, because I was thinking about that, how we have this idea from the world of how relationships be, how we should be, how our man should be, how our woman should be. And I do agree that for me, I agree that there are certain things that are right about that. But one thing, for instance, moving in together before you get married, it's amazing to me. And Christine said here, let's see, she said a couple of things. Let me just start from the beginning. She says work into the nakedness. So she says work into it. She said, I think living together before getting engaged allowed us to see each of us in true form before making it all official. I will encourage my kiddos to do the same. That is interesting because society puts a mark on that, but those same people who will mark you for that are having sex with the people just not living together. So, but they'll judge you because you will stand with somebody because of the world and because of God. Yet, some of those same people, your the sweat is drying on you. What's the difference? That you
Tammy,
just have the same address.
Tammy, and they'll mark you for waiting until you get married before you live with somebody, and then if it don't work out, they still talking about you.
They still
So,
talk about you. And so our point there, you guys, is first, that's a good one. I'm glad you took it there. First, just wipe off what people think and what people want you to do, because those same people who are thinking for you and who are telling you what to do ain't got it together. There's somewhere in their life where you can look at them and say, okay, that doesn't look right. And so you have to do what's best for you. And whatever you do, that's between you and God, not you and somebody else and God, or whatever you believe. So I just thought that was interesting because that shows Christine is very open minded. Because rarely will you hear a mama say that, and if she does say it, she wouldn't say it here. She's like saying it behind the scenes. So thank you for just your
that's woo woo.
that's woo woo. That's woo woo. So it's just interesting. So take just throw out the list from people and get in tune with yourself and make your list. What do you need? But before you know what you need, who are you? How are you? How do you show up in relationships? How have you shown up before? Look back and look at those situations. I remember a situation with myself. I had gone out with this person for not quite a while, but long enough for them to kind of have a feel for me. And one day I was just triggered, beyond triggered. Like I was a hot mess. I was that B word, and I knew it. I just could not get myself out. And he took me back home and he turned the car off and he said, "Okay, I just want to know who was that? Who did I spend my time with today? Just so I'll know when she shows back up." So it wasn't that, and that bought me out of, because I thought, wow, he's not going to drop me off and run, because that was run material. That was run material. Like I had gone zero, like really. And so he didn't just, and it, he just said, well, who was that person? Because I want to get to how I took it. I want to get to know her, and I want to know why is she feeling that way. Who is she? What has happened? So for the most part, I think we all want to feel valued, accepted in our safe space with this person. And for women, we want to truly feel like we are your girl. You chose us over everybody. You chose us. And I can't speak for you guys, but I know for women, I feel like when we think that, hey, I'm your girl, you're my ride or die guy, that's the girl who's going to show up for you. Eventually, maybe not right away, but eventually.
Interesting.
Over to y'all.
I go ahead, Trent.
No, go ahead.
I think what gets left out in conversation, Tammy, especially when it comes to relationships, is how the men feel or how the men respond when they know that they are appreciated, when they know how they are valued. Oftentimes we hear about, or I know I do as a man, we hear about, how we should make our woman feel, right? And how we should carry ourselves and things like that. And I don't hear it as much, what impact it has on a man when he gets the same thing, when he feels appreciated, when he feels wanted, when he feels welcome. Because a lot of guys that I know, one of the most unattractive things to men is somebody not being attracted to them.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't want me, I'm not going to force you to want me. And I don't see a lot of guys being like that. And I've heard guys say that. And so, you think about when people say happy wife, happy life. Why can't we both be happy? And why is my happiness contingent upon yours? Why can't we both be happy? I think the best relationships are the ones that just flow naturally. You're not trying to change me. I'm not trying to change you. I'm not putting pressure on you to do certain things. If something needs to be done, it just gets done. Doesn't matter who takes the trash out. Doesn't matter who does the cooking. If I'm hungry, guess what? I'm fixing something for me and for you. And you know what? I'm gonna sometimes it's just, what, I got a taste for this. Hey, you want some? Or if you're not around, I'm gonna make enough for both of us. Or, hey, what do you want for dinner? Or, hey, the trash can is overflowing. Let me take it out. Oh, the bathroom needs to be clean. Or, we're going somewhere. Who cares? Who cares who fills up the tank? I think that when we start putting people in boxes, we can't get mad at people for being in boxes because we put them there. Why can't our relationship just flow? If something needs to be done, just do it.
I think it's a great point, Rodney. And I think where that problem comes at, in my opinion, where that problem comes in at when men are known for not communicating and are not known for expressing their feelings, how they feel. That's where a majority of the problem come at. Let me tell you something. With me, if I'm feeling a certain way, she's gonna know. I'm gonna express exactly how I feel. I'm gonna tell her hey, I'm not feeling this. I'm not getting this from you. This is what I'm not getting, but this is what I need. So most guys will be like, man, that's kind of feminine. I mean, that's acting like a woman. But hey, that makes me happy. I don't like sitting around nowhere where I'm actually uncomfortable. So I'm going to express exactly how I feel. So men are responsible for this. For that whole thing with women saying, happy wife, happy life, whatever. No, hold on a second. No, it don't work like that. Don't work like that. That's just not a one-sided situation. And we have to be man enough to speak up and place our vulnerability on the table and say, hey man, that doesn't work like that.
Got you.
Okay, you guys, I got to jump in because Christine, she said a number of things, but I really like this last one. Well, the one before the last one because she's on a roll. I need to just send her the link. So she says, after last week, I have been offering to make coffee for my king.
Say it ain't so.
And she says, communication is key. I agree, Trent. And she says, no assumptions when you put your cards out there. And that is so true. Like you cannot judge. Let me go back to that. She said, assume is as out of you and me. We've all heard that. Yes, it is. And we do a lot of assuming in relationships. Communication will take that off the table. So, but I'm so glad you're making your king coffee. Tell him we will invoice him. And we're going to send the money to you, Christine.
Just like a lady.
Just like a lady, yes. So she says, love it, woo woo. So she's talking about the name. She said to be fair, our priest was not happy. And this was about the decision that she would support her kiddos in living together before getting married. And I guess it's to each his own, but wouldn't we rather them, and I'm going to say this, and it's probably going to make some people, holier than thou mad, but I would rather they do that than get divorced, than get married, have some kids, and get divorced. I would prefer, if it worked, but let's just face it, people are not working today because we're not saying what needs to be said. The older people have stopped sharing, they've stopped being examples. They are just like the young, and there's no standards set. There, like few of us have seen healthy relationships. Healthy relationships. Somebody just turned on something. Okay. So few of us have seen those relationships where happy wife, happy life exists. I get what you guys are saying, but I also get that phrase, and I'm not saying that women should not be as attentive. I believe that the coffee should, if you want coffee, I'm getting coffee. That kind of, I believe that. Um, as well, but I do get the fact that happy wife, happy life, because there is truly a difference in our makeup. There is. And you guys are, and right now I think you said this, it's simple. Like this doesn't take much for you. And we are beyond, we are so far. I'm simple, but I'm not simple. Like I truly believe this, that and I'll say that word, the average woman, most women, we hear with our hearts, we see with our hearts, whether it's visible or not. There could be so much trauma in front of that. But when you dig past all that, we hear with our heart, we see with our hearts, we feel. And you guys are more direct, probably more simple. Some of you, a lot of you, the majority, I would say. So you're welcome, Christine. Thank you for sharing all of that great information. I'm
If
not
I
going to
may,
share that last one, Christine. Stop it.
if I may, while you're on the comment section here, and we got to hire some folks to get in here to read these comments. They got comments over on my page for you, Tammy.
I can't see that, so you'll
I
have to
know,
share
but
that.
your favorite guy, one of your favorite guys, Mark and Woo is always supporting. So shout out to Mark and Woo for just they always comment all the stuff. Well, Mark says to you, Tammy, he says, Mrs. Tammy, it's sweat I keep hearing you speak on. Is that sweat equality?
He's talking about me.
That he directed the question to you.
He's saying, is it equality, Sweat?
That, well, yeah, it sounded like he said equality. It looked like he said equality. Is that sweat equality? I believe that's what he said.
Absolutely.
So
It
he
should
said,
be for everybody.
I was
And I'm
more.
going to say that because we should know equality is that person that, because the sweat is only going to be in addition to what the person is or has been. And so yes, I mean if you
he didn't say he didn't say equality. He didn't say equality. He didn't say,
oh, okay. What was the word? Or what is the word?
my glasses. It's some. Hold on one second. Go
I
ahead.
can
Keep going.
okay. So we have let's see, we have some more comments. Hey Shasta, my cousin, thank you. She says it takes two people to stay together, respect one another, communicate, and to do these together, take trips and dine out together, exercise together, all those things. In my opinion, I agree. So often you hear of couples seemingly having different lives, and that may work for some. It just might, but I think things like that. I think people who are going to do this life together should be best friends, and it doesn't mean that you have to spend all your time together, but you certainly should enjoy doing things like that together, because during that time, that's when you can have conversation. That's when you can communicate. That's when you can hear about the day, ask those questions. So, Shasta, I truly agree, and I don't know how far a relationship could go without that connectedness. I mean, really go. Like they can stay together, but the relationship stays right where it is. Well, did you find out about the comment?
Yeah, he's pretty much he's asking, is it fair? Like, is that fair on both sides? Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, because you can't. The sweat is the sweat. And I've said this. There are some great guys. We have some great men that are overlooked because of people will look at what you have, what you drive, where you work, what you wear, and then they get all that and they realize, well, damn, I like all that, but I don't like you.
Wow.
So yes, I mean I agree. There's some women that men need to not let these women sweat on them and vice versa. But only you can control that. Only we can control that.
Gotcha.
Y'all quiet on me. I scare you.
No, hey, Mark asked you the question. He didn't ask us the question. He asked you.
I'm asking y'all the question.
I completely agree about it being fair, and it should go both ways. And I think that's another issue, though. I don't think it always is fair. I think a lot of times there's a struggle. There's a struggle for attention. There's a struggle.
Validation as well. I think attention. Would you say that's one and the same? Attention and validation.
Attention, validation, and then Tammy, I think you got to think about this too. In a lot of cases, unless people are just extremely young, they've been hurt before, right? And so, like the average person, let's just say in their 30s, right? Let's give people some grace. Let's say in their 30s, the average person is not dating in their 30s, and they haven't had their heart broken, right? Or they haven't been done wrong by somebody, and maybe it's their mom or their father.
Believe it or not, Rodney, that number is higher. There are a lot of people who are 60, 70 plus years old who are still dealing with trauma.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like that, there are people like the average adult. You're not dating as an adult without any sort of baggage or previous hurts, right? And so when people meet each other, while you may be out there dating because you really want to meet somebody, you're also on the edge or you're on the fence trying to protect yourself to make sure that you don't get hurt again or to make sure you don't get played again. So whether people talk about it or not, it's present, right? And so that's why there's a struggle for attention. There's a struggle for validation. Well, who's going to be the first one to break? Who's going to be the first one to open up themselves? And it's hard to get beyond it for a lot of people because we date too soon, right? Everybody wants to be in a relationship of some sort. Doesn't all mean that people want to be in committed relationships, but people want to be in a relationship of some sort, or they want to date people, or they want to get out and enjoy the company of whoever they choose. And you have all of these factors in place, but the only thing you're telling yourself and the other person is, well, looking to date, looking for somebody who's who's goal oriented, somebody who has a career. Like we have this list of things. I'm looking for somebody with a sense of humor. We're looking for somebody with all of these things, but we don't think about what we're bringing to the table. We know what we want, but we don't know who we are, and that creates a problem.
Because that's why I asked the question: how do you show up in your relationship? Rodney, you bring up a great point, and you gave me an answer to the question now that I mentioned earlier. But we'll talk about that later. But how do you show up? Because sometimes it's not about the other person, you guys. I don't think it ever is. I think it's how you show up.
Mm-hmm. Well, and see, here's the thing: if I know what I want, that I might be able to talk about what I want, right? But if I don't know who I am, if I struggle in that area,
great point,
then I may not be a good listener. Because you're going to be telling me what you want, or I might be telling you what I want, and you can't hear it. Because you know what you want. You just don't know who you are. And a lot of times we go into relationships with the wrong idea, or we go in with these false expectations, and we think that life is going to be one way every single day. Yes, we first meet, we go out and we kick it, and we have a good old time. Yeah, that's nice. It doesn't mean that we're going out to dinner every day. But people have these expectations. I listen to Steve Harvey a lot of times in the morning, and people call in and, oh man, we used to have sex 5 times a week. Now it's barely 5 times a year, and it's like, well, why is that? Have you gotten to why? Because there could be a whole lot of reasons, but don't expect, like, life changes all the time. It changes all the time. So why are we expecting, if we know that our life is changing, right? We're not the same people we were 5 years ago. We're not the same people we were 15 years ago. We're not the same people we were 25 years ago. So if life is forever evolving and it is forever changing, then why do we get into relationships and think that they are supposed to stay the same?
I agree with that. Also, that they're supposed to be perfect. You said something, and we got some comments. You said something, and it made me think about this. We know what we want, but we don't know how to be what we want. And I hope I put that out there right. I put the comment out there. So I think we do have this list, but we have to ask ourselves, am I this list? If I want affection, if I want communication, do I give affection? Do I communicate? Am I honest?
Mhm.
Do I share whatever? So what's on your list? Be sure that you are those things. It kind of like we have to be the change that we want to see in the world in order to see it. Sometimes people will show up in a relationship, but you're so blocked by other things, and you may want that relationship, but you don't know how to let go and be vulnerable. And a relationship cannot thrive without vulnerability. It just cannot. So, Christine said, Woo Woo says, practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes progress. Shasta says, yes, I tried another one not long ago, and I seen. Um, she said, but it was a dead end with him. God opened my eyes quick. I love it, and God will do that. And we have to be able to listen. So we know I put that on there. Let's see. Let's go back. She said, now that's true, Rodney. I'm not sure what part of that, but yep, you just spoke a lot of truth there, Rodney. Shasta says we have to pray together as well. So those are our comments, and we have one. Uh, so Rodney says, the Bible says, he who desires a friend must first show himself friendly. Absolutely. And that applies across the board. So he who desires a husband must show himself wifey, maybe.
But that
I,
goes along, with what you were saying, Tammy. This list that we have for other people, do we fit that list?
Great point.
exactly. I was asking a couple yesterday what has been the greatest challenge in your marriage. And both of them said patience. And I said explain, and I've heard that word a couple of times after that, like today about patience. Well, and one of them was on a church sign saying, "Be as patient with your spouse as God is with you." And so I heard that word again, so I have to bring that up. But they
It's
said
impossible,
patience.
though. That's a stretch to me.
That's what
That's a stretch.
being patient.
What the whole saying, like, be as patient as God is patient. That's impossible.
Why is that a stretch?
That's
It, well,
impossible.
well, it's not impossible. No, it's not. It's not. Patience. Okay, so listen to
I know. I
this.
understand what you're saying about patience. I get that, but take God out of that.
Okay,
Out of
but
that
it,
part.
it, it is to make you think, okay, there's some things that God said in the Bible that you talk about. That's because you don't want to be patient with your whomever. That's what that is. And
I
that's what
just
it
don't
goes
agree
back
with
to you
that. I
guys.
just don't agree with
No,
that comment.
and of course, we can never be how God is,
That's my
but
point.
it is asking you to think beyond that. Love is what one of the first things the Bible talks about love being is in there. So how can you take it out?
Tam, you know exactly what I'm
No,
saying.
seriously. Well, you said that's impossible and take it out. How do you take it out? That's the way it's explained
What
in the
I'm
Bible.
saying, that's to me, that's a that whole.
That is a just something for you to stand in front of your relationship and say, I need to practice patience with my spouse. If you don't, it's over. you will never get anywhere. Because people are no matter how much you love them, no matter how much sweat you sweated on them, they are going to get on your nerves.
Like God, have the patience like God. Not gonna happen. I'm running quick.
That's why you're single.
Oh wow.
So okay, well, let's read the comments. So
you're a mess. You are a mess. You're a mess. But you know, I welcome it. I welcome it.
You're right.
Oh,
you know, maybe made my boy laugh.
So let's knock it off. All right, knock it off.
But you gotta. I mean, you have to. We can't. I mean, come on, because you know what they mean by that. We can never be what God is and how God is. But the one thing I think marriage is one of the closest relationships, and that's why marriage is so important. So one of the important relationship in a marriage or a relationship allows you to see yourself if you are looking, if you are aware. And so if you throw patience out, you could just go and take a step off the show because you don't even know nothing about relationships.
Patience like God. Come on, man. That's why women are like that today, because it's unrealistic.
It says for husbands to love your wife as Christ loved the church. Do you want to take that out too?
So y'all looking for that agape love that's impossible for me to
love you like. Do you want? It's a yes or no. Pick a side. Pick a side.
It is impossible for me to love you.
Do you want to take that out too? The Bible says, "Love your wife as Christ loved the church."
I understand, but maybe, hey, I'm still a work in progress because I still have the potential of cussing somebody out.
Pick a side.
It's just patience. I mean,
pick a side.
Work on patience. Lord, help me on the patience. Help me work on this patience.
There you go. There you go. Make sure you're showing up by the list you got. Christine said, "Tammy, will you marry me?"
Oh man, boy, y'all were too much. Oh geez.
Hey, let me check on that. Christine, I'll get back with you. You got a ring? Hey, bank account.
That's funny.
Benefits. Oh my gosh.
Thanks for the save, Woo.
That is too cool. She says patience with the spouse is hardest for me versus patience with my students, friends, or kids. Absolutely, it's hard. So we're not saying it's hard. And it probably is, like you're saying, impossible like God, but it's there so that you have something, a guide. It's because you have to be. I mean, we're making fun of this, but you have to. Love is what? Y'all help me. What?
Love is patient. Love is kind.
First word. And he wanted to throw it out.
Love does not look out for its own.
There you go. So
I think that it is very important, and I think that's why the Bible does mention love being patient, because if you're not patient with somebody, because people are going to be different than us, right? So in order to say that you love somebody, you have to have some sort of patience for them, because if you don't, you're gonna walk away from them.
Yeah.
Right. Depending on where your level of patience is, which is where I think Trent was trying to go with, when we think about God, right? We think about God loving, us, or when we think about, God being patient, because think about all of the things that we've done that we've needed forgiveness for, right? And for us, right, it's easy for us to say, don't talk to me no more, or it's easy for us to cut people off. Whereas God God has a whole lot of patience, which is evident in my life and everybody else's. So, to some, and I think that's where Trent was trying to go. Like, you're asking me for a whole lot here. Why can't I just be patient? Now,
why can't I be what?
Why can't I just be patient and let that grow? Because I think there are different levels of patience, right? You got, I look at myself and I look at some of my friends have very short tempers, right? But things that bother them like that, and it'll make them snap like that. I could hear those same things or see those same things. And I'm like, it's all good, And so I think there are different levels of patience, but there has to be some, and it should grow. If I really care about you, if I'm really in love with you, then my patience for you should grow. Should.
Great save, Rodney, because with the great amount of patience with the wrong woman, it can become very disrespectful. It can become a very disrespectful relationship. Great save, Rodney.
That's with the wrong person, period. Because we do have some people that will use you, but again, that's the only time people are going to use you if you allow it. That's why I said whatever it is going through is something that you've allowed and that you've put up with, and you've given this person permission to do that.
That's my point. Go back to the communication part.
But you still are responsible for your patience. And oftentimes, and Christine said this somewhere in here, and I think I read it. Patience with a spouse is hardest for me. And that's a great comment to turn into a question. Why is it that we find it more difficult to be patient with the people who are right there that we chose and had kids from? Why do people on the street, because this is the way it happens, people on the street often get more grace, more mercy, more favor than the people right in front of us? I mean, it happens, me included, you guys. I am trying to work on that, because some way that distorted mindset says that we have to do something out there, that our neighbors are the people out there, when it's truly the person, especially, and that's why it says become one. Those who have become one, those who are together becoming one in that relationship, which is why I said that's the closest thing to your relationship with God, is becoming one with the person, because it'll get to the point where dirty clothes on the floor, like Rodney, the trash has not been taken out. I agree. I don't get caught up in that. However, I don't want to be the one always taking the trash out. I'll say that. Because if that's just, and those are things that could become deal breakers if you don't deal with the major stuff. There are a lot of people, I believe that there are a lot of people not together today, not because they didn't love each other, but because they never really knew how to love themselves so that they could give love and be loved. So it's not always the other person's fault.
Mark's dropping Jews again this week for the Butterfly Evolution show. He says patience in the microwave generation with an exclamation point and red question marks.
Patience in today's generation is what he said.
Patience in the microwave generation with exclamation points with red question marks.
You have to make sure you don't have a microwave girl or a microwave guy.
Ooh, okay.
I mean,
he also said
that's true, Tammy.
You do. You are responsible for what you choose. So if you got a microwave girl, you have microwave patience, and so does she.
Yeah. He also says that love's in need of love today. Love's in need of love today.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Totally get that.
I agree with that, Mark.
And so I don't know if you were posting the question, Rodney. I see. When does it go from patience to being used or taken advantage of? Were you trying to put that out there in the comments?
Well, I thought of that when Trent was talking about having so much patience that it could become a problem, right? And then it also, so if I'm with you and I'm showing a lot of patience to you, right? And let's say putting up with your junk, right? Or putting up with whatever, right?
Right, throwing shade tonight. I like that.
No. But if I'm putting up with you or putting up with these things, right, and being patient, right, because I love you, because I care about you, it like Is it helping the relationship or is it hurting it? Because some people would look at that as me enabling you. Because why is it that this is not improved? Why has this not gotten better? Now, I think that there are some things that just aren't going to change. And I think that's where patience also has to come in, because there are going to be some things about me, and not because I don't want to, but there are going to be some things about me that are it's who I am, right?
Exactly.
There are some things about you, and you could try to change me all you want, but if I don't see a problem with it, then how fast am I going to be to change it? Because what happens a lot of times is we want people to change or to be a certain way, and they do it because of how they feel about us today. The moment that they no longer feel that way, then they go right back to this person who they used to be because they did it for you. And the change should not be for anyone else. You got to see a need for the change. And if your significant other is telling you something, right? Are you listening? And then, like, we also have to give people grace because they didn't just become this way overnight. So asking them to drop it right away,
Not fair.
it's not fair.
And it's certainly not patience. It's
Yeah.
not grace either.
Yeah. And so I feel like we have to be there and also understand people are a working progress.
Yeah.
And we're going to be hopefully changing and evolving until we die.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Great point, because that's we all have to, and I know we don't do it. I haven't done it over the years. I know sometimes we just don't think like that, but we have to go in with the mindset of readjustments. We have to make readjustments along our course and our journey. We're gonna have to at some point.
Right.
I agree,
Some
Trey.
people, yeah, some people won't bend. Some people will not bend. But you have to go in with the mindset of, hey, I might have to make adjustment because Tam's a little crazy, so I might have to adjust a little bit.
But and you're right, because Tammy is a little crazy some days. Like, so that's why I say, you guys, I am my greatest teacher. I don't always get it right. I don't always say it right. I don't always feel right. I get stuck in some areas. I'm still stuck in some areas, but I'm aware. The one thing that you must
That's a
become
great
is
point, Tam. What you
aware.
just said.
You have
You're
to
right.
be aware of your shit. And I'm going to say it just like that. You have to be, because when you are, then the couple that I talked to yesterday, one of them said this, that when we get ready to call our partner, call each other out on something, we think of, this is just something that they've created, part of their religion, that we have to think of 5 things that they could call us out on right now. And when you get to number 5, you don't even want to say anything.
Right.
But who does that? Because you have to let your spouse or your person be. You have to let them be. And because if you force the change, it's not going to stay. They're going to become bitter. Um, and the relationship is just going to change. This is why it's so important to have the conversations, talk, speak, because you will learn so much about a person with conversation. Ask, what do you think about this? I heard this today. Some people, I put this out there, you guys, the average couple communicates an estimated 70% the first year of their marriage. And I like to say the first year of the relationship as well. 30% the second year. And by the time the 8th year rolls around, there is little to no communication in the relationship. That's a dead relationship. The other one we put out there some time ago, and I've lost it here. And I have it scrolling around, and this came from one of our. I think she's listened, but it was actually a post on one of her Facebook page quite a while ago, and I have it scrolling across the bottom. I'm going to share it with you, and I'll read it out as soon as it picks back up here. So people, and you guys can read it as well. People will only love you to the level that they love themselves, communicate to their level of self-awareness, and behave to their level of healed traumas. There's
Exactly.
so much in that. We all want and need loved by someone. That I truly believe that, but you have to know who you're working with and how they show up.
Who said
And
that?
and
Who commented? Who made that comment?
this is actually my niece. She made it some months
Oh,
ago,
yeah,
and we
that's why it sounds
yeah,
familiar. Okay.
right, Nikki. So that's so true. And to a degree, I think we all fail on those levels from time to time, or that we will, because life happens. Life happens to us. I saw where this couple, and this is something I read in a paper, they had been married many years. And the question was asked, how did you last so long? And the wife said, we never allowed each other to fall out of love with each other at the same time. So I took that to say somebody stood up and got over themselves. They got past the emotions and they decided, I'm going to show up because you're not showing up right now. And that's how marriages and relationships thrive. We have to be grown. We have to grow up. We can no longer be childlike in relationships. So I'll say, if you're looking, um, sometimes the very thing that we're looking for, we don't believe in. We don't think that they exist. And so that is um, that's a conflict. That's an internal conflict that's sending that man or that woman away. If you met him or if you met her, your very spirit might run them off because you don't believe in this. And you're bringing all that baggage into the relationship, all that emotional trauma. That's the reason the nakedness, as Trent said, show up naked. Hey, this is my shit. This is it. Are you willing to buy me some Charmin? You don't have to wipe my butt. Buy the Charmin.
Literally, literally.
So, would you go with me to buy it? Would you help me pick it out? I mean, literally. I know it sounds gross, but in order for
No,
this
I'm
relationship
really
thing
saying
to work,
literally because I was just recently a year and a half ago in
had
that
to do that.
situation. That's what I'm saying. No, it's cool.
Wow, that's interesting.
Well, I was there with you.
I just went there.
I know you
Don't,
did.
yeah, I just went. Not there, like on a whole nother level there.
Gotcha.
But it is what it is. So you guys, I promised myself that I was gonna only be on here an hour, and I have passed. If Rodney and Trent want to stay on, they can. But Tammy is getting off because her pizza is still here and she's hungry.
I'm about to go eat my chicken, so I understand.
Um,
I gotta get these pain medicine in me, so because I'm over here sitting in pain.
I have to get to bed because we have to get up early in the morning.
there is one thing. If you guys have some final closing remarks while you're doing that, there is one thing that I do want to read, and then we're going to jump off.
Go ahead, Trent. Talk about the show on Sunday, man.
Oh yeah,
What's
Sunday
coming up for the people?
we're gonna have Shan out of Atlanta on the conversation this Sunday. She was very opinionated about the dating pool and collecting data on the guys that she serial date. You know, she says she's not a serial dater, but yeah, we'll see what. I'm not too convinced of that, but she had some great comments that we're gonna come back with doing a part 2 of Breaking Your Own Heart on Sunday.
And
Talking about
how can people access the show, Trent?
Actually, same way they access you guys through Facebook, through the Conversation with Trent page, the Butterfly Evolutions page. It'll be on Tammy's page, my page. Again on the Conversation with Trent fan page. They can access that. Or YouTube, it'll be on a Relationship Table Talk on YouTube as well. Everything will be live on pretty much all platforms.
Good
7
Cool.
o'clock on Sunday.
And you guys, Nick's going to be on Thursday, and I wish I could. He's going to be talking about the feminine energy and masculine energy and all that kind of thing. I can't remember the exact topic, but he will be on Thursday at 7
Yeah, I
doing
need
a
to check him
short
out because he's a good guy. Good guy with
series.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
he's real solid.
A cool example of there's some good guys out there looking for relationship. They're looking for committed relationships, but they
Right.
keep bumping and running into women who
And
are
he's a young guy, and
broken.
that's kind of eye
Right, right.
for a young man.
Yeah,
He's a
he
young
was a
man
guy. He
talking
was a
like
young
that.
guy. I don't know if you remember. We interviewed him a while back, Rodney, because he had decided to just stop doing the sex thing.
That was a
And
few years ago, I feel like.
yep, some years ago. And I say this when it gets to a point where guys are the ones who saying close your legs, we have a problem that we're using our legs, we're using the sweat
I'm
to
so
get a
glad Tammy said that.
relationship.
We didn't say it because women would be all over us right now, Rodney. We said that.
I mean, but when you're offended, I'll say this: when something offends you, it has kicked you. It has hit something in you. It ran
Right.
into you, and it found a place to call home. So I'm okay with that. It is what it is, but there's some truth to that. So I want to read this, and then we can get out of here. And we've shared this before, but I think it's a good time to remind those, and we may have some new people. So we're seeking that special person who is right for us. But if you've been through enough relationships, you begin to suspect there's no right person, just different flavors of wrong. Why is this? Because you yourself are wrong in some way, and you seek out partners who are wrong in some complementary way. But it takes a lot of living to grow fully into your own wrongness. And it isn't until you finally run up against your deepest demons, your unsolvable problems, the ones that make you truly who you are, that we're ready to find a lifelong mate. Only then do you finally know what you're looking for. You're looking for the wrong person, but not just any wrong person, the right wrong person. Someone you lovingly gaze upon and think, this is the problem I want to have. I will find that special person who is wrong for me in just the right way. Let our scars fall in love. That's deep because we're all wrong in some kind of way. And you're just looking for someone to complement that wrongness, to be there, to be okay with your scars. So I just thought that was beautiful. Mushy, right, guys? You're crying, Rodney? Oh,
Algae. I did like the part about the right wrong person though. I thought that was pretty accurate.
yeah. We're all looking for the right, not just the wrong person, but the right wrong person.
Mm-hmm.
And there's somebody out there for every wrong that you have. There's somebody that will understand your story and walk it with you. Be right there because just let's just face it. We talk about change, but people can change to the point, Trent, you've been through it, where the sickness happens and you need them. Like you are totally dependent. It's like my son said to me, Mom, you can't get mad, and no offense to anything, no disrespect on this, but his example was you can't get mad at someone who's paralyzed in a wheelchair because he or she cannot walk. And so some people that we expect some things from.
I'll say that's the greatest thing you've ever done in life was Brandon. That boy is so deep, man.
Yeah, he really is, y'all. He really is. He really, really is. He has a heart of gold. And sometimes, no, not sometimes, a lot of times people walk over him and use it. And I just, oh. But anyway, and Christine Woo Woo, thank you for that kind message about Brandon. I'll keep you posted about what happens Saturday. Brandon's fighting Saturday. So I can tell you guys I've changed because I'm not so, I used to be like almost on my deathbed the week that he would fight. Like I would flip out internally. I'm okay. I'm okay. So I've gotten stronger and I'm going to watch it. I'm not going to be like this. I'm going to watch it. So you guys be praying for my baby. That's my only one. So
Brand,
he
that
is still
W's
my
already
baby.
that W's already won. It's in his column. He's already got it. He won already. He'll be
Cool.
fine.
Cool. Thank y'all for that. So let's see. Do we have any final comments here? We do, you guys. So just let's get these out and then we'll get off of here. Woo Woo says kick ass, Brandon. I love Woo Woo. She says, great show tonight. Your energy is great. Thank you, Woo Woo. Tell you, you got to get on with me at night. We gotta talk about and I know I can say this, because y'all, we think that the grass is greener, or that people, white people in relationships with their husband have it better. I have white friends and they have the same shit we have. So I mean, really, the relationship have the same issues, same
Exactly.
issues. So we're gonna have to get on here and spread the news on that. Woo woo. Shasta says, "Good night, guys. I will be checking in. Thank you." And Woo woo says, "Can you invite her to the show for Sunday?" So I'll make sure
Oh,
she's added
absolutely.
in on that.
I'll send you a friend request. We'll just so you can jump onto the conversation page and all that good stuff. And you know what, for being a good supporter like that, I'm gonna send you some books. Cause she's always showing up for you, bro. Very great supporter, man.
She is. She is
She always
awesome.
does.
So you tell your husband, we said make you coffee in the morning and eggs and grits
And I always
and
want to
bacon.
flip things. She was going in
That's
the
right. Got
right
to take
direction
care of
at
the
first.
ladies. Got to take care of the ladies because y'all don't know what we go through. Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
Happy wife, cup of coffee. So Shasta says, I really enjoyed tonight. Awesome. And Woo say you guys are the best. She says, no way. I tell my students that I will not wipe your butts. You are independent.
she she literally does. She literally does. Tell the kids she's not wiping their butts. She might say the other word too, Timmy. I don't know.
Wow. I like Woo. I like Woo.
But you know what?
Like,
And y'all,
you
we
gotta
get
get a
twisted
kid
with
Daisy, bro.
words. We get twisted with words, but sometimes you have to talk to them just like that. These kids and grown people too. And so I just refuse to believe that I'm going to be judged or go to hell because I said the word whatever, hell, shit, whatever, all that. Like, that's crazy because sometimes that's the language that people hear. You can't show up and say, oh, if you come from this place and I start sending all these words to you and you look at me like, what? I'm talking Spanish. So you just have to know who you're dealing with and how they
Yeah.
relate to it.
I'm gonna get. I just wanna
Okay.
acknowledge Mark and Ty. Ty said she's here for the comments tonight. So shout out to Ty from Ty Flowers. And
Thank you, Ty. Y'all check her out. Great business. Let's see. We got so many comments. Okay, so that statistics on communication is crazy. Nice reminder. Yes. I think I don't know what it was saying, the end of the part. So Shasta says, so true to be aware. Realistic expectations are so important as well. Let's see here. Miss Erlene, patience is more sustainable when mercy and compassion becomes a part of the process. Mr. Conversation, did you hear that? And
I heard. How
this
you
is
doing,
from
Miss Arlene? How
this
you doing? It's been some
yeah,
years.
so patience is more sustainable when mercy and compassion becomes a part of the process. You guys listen to that. When mercy and compassion becomes a part of the process.
Great to see you, Miss Arlene. I haven't seen you in years, but hopefully once I get a little better, hopefully I can get back to Memphis and do an event there.
So Shasta says, now you on point there, cuz for sure don't love themselves and cannot love anyone else. 100. No, she says 1,000. So she says, this is woo woo. In simple terms, why can I grit and bear it if you? Okay, woo woo, what's that? In simple terms, why can I grit and bear it if you're not a family member? Chew with your mouth open or crunch so loud, but if my hubby does it, oh, I get it. She's saying that she is more tolerable basically when people do these kind of things, but if her hubby does it, so I think go back to what Miss Earlene said, you know, the compassion and mercy. And I believe that starts at home. Try that at home, ladies. And I'm going to say it for the ladies because I truly believe that we can change the atmosphere when someone has truly showed up. Now, if you do all these things, because that's where I am in life, that I've just decided I'm going to do my part. I'm going to be what I'm supposed to be. Because if you don't receive it when I'm out. Because I know I put it all on the table. So try that. Try that. And I'm just going to speak to the ladies. You guys can speak to the men, but try to be everything that you need and that you want. Try it. I think they call that, what was that movie about the Fireproof? If you guys have never seen Fireproof, please watch it. You probably can look it up on Netflix or something. But Fireproof is a great example of patience, compassion, and mercy. So that's all I have. You guys can join Nick on Thursday. That would be awesome. I'm going to jump in for a bit and help him get started. I may not say the entire time though, and then Trent's back on Sunday. So thank you guys. It's been great, and we want to hear your stories. I'm thinking about doing a dating thing here. I'm gonna pick a single guy and a single girl, and we're gonna have a
With
round
that
table.
said, I'm out, Rodney. Good,
All
nice
right,
to see you, Rodney.
that's right. Look, who wants to run? All
Yep.
right, you guys, we're all good.
Oh yeah, we're good, man. Appreciate you guys.
So
Love you guys, man.
it has
Love
been
you too,
awesome,
brother.
you guys.
Okay.
Thank you so much. And don't be like this. I'm gonna put something up as we go away. Don't you guys be like this, okay? Keep it real.